So today we're going to do the handover video on the Burstner Lyseo TD644. We're going to start on the outside and then we're going to move on to the inside. So coming around to your passenger side, opening up the passenger door, you'll notice you've got your bonnet release catch, which is here. Pull that, that'll release the bonnet. And whilst I'm here, you will also notice on this specific model you've got your MS cab blinds. To operate these, all you need to do is simply pinch this little toggle and pull down. I typically find it's a lot easier if you pull and lead with the bottom, as you can then line it up and connect it to the magnetic strip which is on the side of the door there. You'll notice you've got this panel and also the same again on the other side, along with the same toggle here, which will release the front ones as well. These again are on a magnetic strip, which once pulled together will connect and black out the entire cab. When taking these back, all you've got to do is again pinch and pull away, and again lead from the bottom just to make sure it doesn't get stuck, like so. That can then clip in like so, and then you're good to go. As a rule of thumb with anything in a motorhome, and this is one of the examples, if it does feel like it's being forced, you are probably doing something wrong. So if that is the case, just think about obviously what you're doing, approach it with caution, and then obviously retry. Moving over to the bonnet. Underneath the bonnet, there's not many things that you need to know underneath here. However, the main things that you need to know is obviously if you're ever wanting to jump start the vehicle. With the bonnet up and in place, I can point out to you where to jump start the vehicle from. Your negative goes onto here, and then your positive is just located onto here. You'll notice that there's a cap which is just on top of here with a little plus sign just to indicate that that's positive. Flick the cap up and then you can connect onto there. As I say, they're the main things that you need to know. But just to point out a couple more things, you have got your engine oil which is down here along with your dipstick which is just below. You've then got your brake disc fluid, your engine coolant, your power steering fluid, and then finally your washer fluid which is just there. Moving on from the bonnet, you'll notice that you've got your awning which is on the side of the vehicle here. Regarding the awning, the rules and regs with that, I'll send you another link regarding the awning and how to operate it. But if it is a windy day, try not to use the awning, because as you can imagine, it is a massive sail, and all it could do is once you've got a bit of wind underneath, it'll simply just rip the awning away. So just be careful about that. On this side of the vehicle, you have got your habitation door and also an external socket which is 230 volt. You will, do bear in mind, need an adapter for that since it is a continental plug at the moment. Next, you've then got your hookup point which is mains electric, which just connects into there. That's for your 230 volts. And then finally you've got your gas barbecue point which is just on the side of the vehicle there. Unscrew that, turn your gas on and then feed it through. Finally you've got your water which is here. Unscrew that and then you can fill up your water with a hose. When it's overflowing, you know that it's full, and then you can connect the lid back onto the outside of the vehicle. You've then got your garage. I'll open up your garage now. With the garage door open, you can see that you've got your infill cushions for the makeup bed, which I'll demonstrate in the vehicle in a moment. You've then got a light and also your carpets. You'll also notice that located up here is your awning pole, should you want to use it. Moving along the back, you'll notice you've got your reversing camera which is just on the back there. And then coming along, another access point into your garage. Onto this side of the vehicle, you've got your Truma vent. This in essence is your chimney. This does get very hot, so do bear that in mind. So don't hang anything on there, because as I say, in essence that is your chimney, so just do be careful of that. Moving on, you've then got your gas locker, which I'll just open for you now. With the gas locker door open, you'll notice that you can get 2 gas bottles in here. And you'll also notice that this is your inflation kit and your jack, for obviously if you ever get a flat. Closing the door as well, you will notice that you have got a sticker, which is just on the bottom there, which indicates a drain down point. There's 3 main drain down points in the vehicle. You've got your wastewater drain down point, your fresh water, and also your boiler drain down point. For your wastewater, this is where it's located, as indicated by the sticker. Just below that you will notice your grey pipe there. You can then see this metal rod which is at the side of this. You'll have a lever somewhere in the vehicle which you will connect to this metal rod, and then you'll turn down and that'll release your wastewater. For your wastewater, what I recommend, and this can be for your fresh water and also your boiler drain down point, is obviously when you are on site, you can dump the majority of the water down the grid as it is indicated. And then what I recommend is when you are driving home and travelling home, is you can leave all your drain down points open, because at the end of the day it is just water, and that's going to ensure that all the water is out of the vehicle because of the vibrations of the road. So that's going to make sure all the water comes out and you don't get any frozen water in the system or remaining. And as I say, that is just located underneath where the gas locker is. For your drain down points, you've got, as I mentioned, you have got three. You've got this one, which is your wastewater. Your fresh water, as I say, is your fill up point is on the other side. That's located on the inside, which I'll show you how to drain down point, along with your boiler drain down. Moving on, you've then got your cassette toilet, which is located in here. I'll just open that for you now. With the cassette door open, you can see that you've got access to the cassette. By lifting up this little handle here, you can simply slide out and activate the cassette. Once the cassette is out, you'll notice that you've got a couple of options on the top. You've got an orange button which is at the back there, and then also an orange toggle in the midpoint here. The orange little button at the back releases a vacuum which is in the cassette, and that'll allow all the contents to flow out in one steady slurry, and that'll mean that when emptying the cassette, you don't get any splashback. You have also then got this orange toggle here. This orange toggle is what makes contact with the blade. I'll go into more detail on the blade and the toilet on the inside of the vehicle, but what this does is it opens and closes the cassette. Make sure that this always retains in this position. You don't need to do anything with that. You've then also got the funnel which is at the front here. By simply swinging that out, that'll allow all the contents to be directed. You will have a cap on here as well. I've just taken that off for this purpose, just so you can see into the cassette. Once back, simply line up the cassette and push in. Make sure, as I say, that that toggle is still in place. And the main thing that you need to know is when removing this cassette is that the blade on the toilet, as I mentioned, is always closed, because if it is open, what will happen is this will get jammed. And what people tend to do is they'll feel that it gets jammed, they'll simply carry on pulling and then break the entire system. So do bear that in mind. You need to always check that the blade on the toilet is closed, which I'll demonstrate for you later. Before moving on to the inside, you'll also notice that you've got your fill up points here. You've got diesel, which is up at the top there, and then your AdBlue, which is just there. That's on your passenger side. Moving on to the inside of the vehicle, you'll notice that you've got your two control panels. You've got your first control panel here, which will operate your lights and also indicate your vehicle charge and water levels. And then you've got your Truma boiler system here, which will operate your heating. Firstly, moving to the main control panel. Click your activation button, and this will activate everything in the vehicle and send power to it. Click that on, and this will allow you to turn your lights on, like so, which are just down here. You've also got your power assisted step, which is just there. Coming back to the panel, at the top you can check your vehicle leisure battery, at the bottom your vehicle battery, and then opposite that your your fresh water level, and then your wastewater level. Now at the moment I've no fresh water or wastewater in the vehicle, hence why none of these are indicating, but when you have got them topped up, they will just appear on the side going up like that, like they did for the voltage. You'll then finally notice that you've got your pump button, which is just there. When operating the pump, you need to make sure that you've got water in the vehicle. You don't ever want to be using the pump when you've not got water in the system, because you'll simply just burn it out. Once you've got water in the system, click your pump on and then go to your taps. For your taps, you need to go to your tap here, your taps in your bathroom, and then also your shower. You need to turn them on and then turn them to hot. What that's going to do, it's going to pull fresh water from the fresh water tank into the pipeline, through the boiler, therefore prime the boiler, and then out of your tap. It's going to splurt and splutter, and then once it's running steadily, you have primed your system for your hot water. Once you've done that, flick it over to cooled and do the same thing. And as I say, that needs to be done for all your taps, including your shower. Once you've done that, you can leave your pump on, because on each of your taps you've got micro switches which will activate and deactivate the pump when you need it, just like you would get at home. But as I say, the main thing to remember is that you've always got water in the system when operating this. Moving over to the Truma control panel, if I click the middle button, that'll activate everything. Everything below the line is what you want to select. Firstly, you've got your vehicle's temperature. By circling through the options, you can circle up and down the temperatures, and then simply click in to select. You've then got your water temperature. You've got the options of Eco, Hot or Boost. Eco is approximately 40 degrees, so you're going to be using that when you're having a shower. Hot is approximately 70 degrees, so you're going to be using that when you're washing up. And then finally your Boost, in essence what that does is that will concentrate on heating the water and take the concentration and emphasis of heating the vehicle, depending on which one you want to prioritise. Next, you've then got your fuel. You've got the option of gas. Mix 1, which is a mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt electric. Mix 2, which is a mixture of gas and 2 kilowatt electric. EL1, which is 1 kilowatt electric. And then finally EL2, which is 2 kilowatt electric. Depending on where you are, whether you're wild camping, this will depend on obviously which fuel you select. Finally, you've then got your fan. For your fan, because I've not got anything selected, it's only going to give me the option of vent, and what that's going to do is circulate the air in the vehicle. However, if I was to activate this, you'll have the option again of Eco, High or Boost, and again this will just this will do the same as the hot water, in the fact that if you wanted to have the vehicle heating concentrated, you can flick it on Boost and it'll work vice versa. Some more options as well down here. If you want to set a timer, you can do so just by doing that. Next, you've then got your clock, which you can set. And then finally, you've got your spanner for your settings. If I circle through all the options, the main important thing is the reset button. The reset button is located at the end, and you need to click that in to reset the system. Once resetting the system, it'll initialize, it'll flicker the screen, and then you need to wait 20 minutes for the entire system to fully reset. Now, the reason that you'll be resetting the system is if you ever get an error code. Now, the reason you get an error code is, for example, if you selected a fuel that you haven't got. So, for example, if I'm on site and I've got and I'm trying to heat the vehicle via gas, but I've no gas bottles, what's going to happen is it's going to throw up an error code because I'm trying to heat the vehicle with something that I've not got. If that is the case, you need to do the following: go into the settings panel, reset it, wait 20 minutes, and then flick it over to a fuel that you have got, and then you'll be all good. Into the lounge area, you'll notice that I've taken all the cushions off, just to indicate the access points underneath them. Using these flaps, you can then access underneath these panels. You'll notice that at the back, you've got access into the garage area. To this side, you have got a little bit of storage, along with your RCD breaker and your fresh water tank. And then on this side, again, a little bit of storage, and then your boiler, which is just there. So, firstly, starting off with your RCD breaker and your fresh water tank. Your RCD breaker is located here at the front. Opening up the panel, you'll notice that you've got all your trip switches, which are located there. If the vehicle does trip, you need to come to this area here. You'll also notice that you have got a little bit of a little test button up at the top, which is just there. If you press that test button in, for example, if you are on site and you can't get any electric to the vehicle, press that button in. If these all trip, you know that you are getting electric to the vehicle, so it's not a problem with the site. It's therefore a fault with your vehicle, and it'll allow you to isolate the problem and then check your fuses. What often happens is you won't be able to get an electric to the vehicle. The reason for that will be a faulty cable lead or a faulty site breaker. So you can always check from there. Moving across, you've then got your fresh water tank. Your fresh water tank, as indicated here, will take 110 litres. You'll notice on the top you've got this big red valve here. Open that up, which will unscrew the lid, and that'll allow you to wipe the inside out. I don't recommend drinking out the fresh water tank. You can buy purifying tablets. However, as I say, I don't personally recommend it. But if you do need to wash it out, you can do through there. You'll also notice that you have got this black valve here. All that is your drain down point for your freshwater tank. As I say, your freshwater is on the inside of the vehicle, whereas your wastewater is external. To empty this, all you need to do is turn the nib, just like so. That'll then empty the entire system. You've got two settings with the freshwater tank which work really well. So if you wanted, for example, to keep some water in the vehicle, so for example if you was moving off site and you were moving to another site and you wasn't sure whether you was going to end up with any water, or you wanted to leave a bit of water remaining for making a cup of tea, what you can do is you can drain down the entire system to 20 litres. What that means is it'll keep 20 litres in the vehicle. For example, if you want to use the toilet or you have a cup of tea, you have got a bit of water. The manufacturer recommends that if you are travelling with water, travel with 20 litres due to payload and weight distribution. Anything over could jeopardise this, so just do bear that in mind. However, if you do want to empty the entire thing, what you need to do is when you are turning this, you'll come to a little lug. Once you hit that lug, you can stop there and this system will drain down to 20 litres. Or if you continue past the lug, as I have just done there, that will then drain down the entire system, the entire 110 litres. As I say, the bulk of the water you want to get rid of down a grid. However, you can leave these systems open as you are travelling home, just to make sure that all the water does go out due to the vibrations of the road and things. So you are not suffering from any frost in the tank or anything. Moving to the next compartment, as I mentioned, you have got access point into your garage area here. So if you want to stand things here, you can access that there. Finally, you have your boiler compartment. Now, your boiler compartment looks very confusing, however, it's very simple. The only things that you need to know in here are your drain down points. As I mentioned, there's three main drain down points in the vehicle. You have got your wastewater, which is external, your fresh water, which I've just shown you, which is internal, and then your boiler drain down point, which is here. Located on the boiler, there are two drain down points. You'll notice down here, it's quite hard to see in the light. Come round, it might be a little bit easier. You can see that you've got two valves. You've got one which is a yellow toggle, which is on the right hand side, and then you've got a blue diamond which is on the other side. The blue diamond, which is this one here, is the drain down point purely for the boiler, and then your yellow toggle there is for everything beyond the boiler, so that's all your pipelines to your sink, to your taps and things like that. Now, to operate and drain down the boiler, all you need to do is come to this area here. Once closed like this, as it would be, as you can see indicated by there, the diamond is in this position. You'll notice that the black nib on the top of the diamond is pushed in, and then there's a little blue tab on this side of the compartment which has gone in. That will close the boiler system, and it means that all your water will retain in the boiler. To open this and to drain it down, you need to turn your diamond just like that, and you can see that that black nib on the centre of the diamond has popped up. And then it's very difficult to see on the video, but if I run my hand on the other side of this, there is a little blue nib which has popped out. What that does is, as I say, releases all the water and drains down the entire boiler system. When, as I say, when sealing this back up, what you need to do is simply turn the diamond like so the black nib returns, and then on the side you need to push in the blue tab, just like so, and that'll seal it. Now, regarding the boiler drain down point is probably the most important drain down point of them all, because you need to make sure that you never get frozen water in this system. Now, what Burstner do is they include a frost protection valve, which this drain down point, which I've just shown you how to operate, is in essence. It's a fail-safe and ensures that you'll never get frozen water in the system. Now, I recommend that every time you do obviously come to store the vehicle and move on with the vehicle, you empty and drain the boiler tank, as I've just shown you. However, this does react to temperature. As I say, it's a frost protection valve. So what may happen is when it gets below freezing, this area will trip and that diamond will open and the blue tab on the side will ping out. So what'll happen is once the vehicle's been in storage for a while, you'll come to use the vehicle. You'll come to close all this compartment up, so you'll turn the diamond as I've shown you and go to push that blue tab in, and the blue tab will keep on pinging out. As I say, this reacts to temperature, and there is some solution in this black box here which reacts to the temperature. And what that means is because it's too cold, it's not allowing you to close the system, because obviously it's reacting to the temperature and is scared that you are going to freeze the boiler. If that is the case, all you need to do is you need to go to your control panel up at the top. You need to turn your heating on and then heat this area. You can see that all these pipes running from this area are designed to obviously heat the vehicle, but also heat this area individually, because what that will mean is you'll turn your heating on, this area will heat up, this will then therefore react to the temperature and allow you to push that blue tab in and seal the system. Now don't worry, you can run the system with water, without water in the system, to ensure that you can do this, so don't worry about that, that is fully safe. Next to that as well, as I say, you have got a yellow tab which at the moment is in the up position. In the up position, this indicates that the valve is open. To close this, all you've got to do is flick it down like so, just like that. And as I say, that's for everything beyond the boiler to your taps. Again, you need to make sure that that's always flipped up when leaving the vehicle, and this valve here is open like so. Moving on from the boiler system, we're now going to make up your lounge, and I'm going to show you how to operate your beds. With the lounge returned back to how it should be, you'll notice that you've got your drop down bed which is up at the top here, and then you have got your table which is in the middle. For your table, this operates by sliding it back and forth, and it also swivels. On the underneath side, you've also got a clip here which will stop that, so if you want to lock it into place, just flick that clip up and that'll sturdy the table and lock it into place so you can use it. To operate your drop down bed, at the side here you have got your key. Simply turn that to activate the bed, and then using these controls you can drop the bed like so. Now regarding this, you have got quite a few options on how you want, if you want to use this. You'll notice that you've got your foam insert at the back. So for example, if you was to use this as a lengthways drop down bed, what you can always do is drop down your bed and drop it to the height of that foam insert. What that will do is once I've lowered it all the way, that will become level with the foam insert, so you can use it, as I say, as a lengthways drop down bed. You can, however, if you wanted, use it as a transverse bed as well. In this position, if you use to half it, this area can also turn into a bed. All you need to do with this is lift up the table and push it down, remove these cushions just to allow that to drop down, and then using the infill cushions in the garage as I've shown, they'll just slot into the middle and create a big double bed which is just down here. So in essence you can have two here and then two there, and then you've got some ladders which are just underneath the floor area here to help you up. If it was just two of you, however, and you wanted to drop this bed all the way down, what you'll need to do is remove these back cushions, drop the table, and then drop the bed all the way down, which I'll do that for you now. With the back cushions removed, you can then see that I've dropped the table in place, and then this frees up the area for me to then drop the bed down. One thing to notice as well is I can stop this bed at whatever height if I just let go of the button. However, if I was to just hold it like that, it will stop once it's at the bottom. As you can see, I'm then in place, and then I can use the bed. With your bed, what I say is keep all your bedding on, just with your pillows, stick them at the front or store them elsewhere for when it goes up to the top. You can then take this back up, and just to demonstrate, as you can see, I could stop it halfway there just to meet that foam insert, so you can then sleep lengthways like so. This then gives you enough space as well to convert this area into a bed for additional guests. Underneath the bed, you'll notice you have got some storage, which is just locker storage there, and then also at the back you have got some cupboards, just to fold things up. Once the bed is down as well, you have got an access point into there where you can store your pillows and things like that. Once the lounge is made up, you can then begin to use it. Finally, moving on to your fridge. How to operate this is you need to hold the touch sensitive button like so, and then from there you can operate various options in terms of temperature, brightness of the screen, and then you can also set a night mode, which is just on there. It's quite difficult to see. At the top you've got your fridge, and then your freezer, which is below. The nice thing with this fridge is it's purely off 12 volt and will run off 12 volt solely, so you don't need to faff around changing it from different fuels. One thing to know with the fridge is it does a very good job at maintaining the temperature, but not the best of jobs getting it down to temperature. Do bear that in mind. So if you want things to be frozen in the freezer, put frozen things in. If you want cooled things to be in the fridge, put cooled things in, and it'll maintain the temperature. So that's been the handover video on the Burstner Lyseo 644. I hope you enjoyed.